Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Real Estate Talk with Lisa Jeffery. I am your host, Lisa Jeffery. I am an active licensed real estate agent with Fairfax Realty, the Greenbelt office. I am a member of the senior team. And I'm just delighted to have you guys back again. We've been on the air for just a little over a month, and the response has been really overwhelming in terms of comments, calls, people stopping me saying, "Hey, I saw the show." So it's really been exciting to see your response, because one of the things that we really wanted to do was to engage our audience. Now, I know you've probably been watching me for more than one show. You know that I normally start out, excuse me, thanking different people, and usually the people that I forgot to thank at the last show. But one thing I want to do today is I really want to thank God, because at the center of everything that I do, He's right there. And I'm going to share a little bit with you about how I got to where I am now, and He's at the center of that. If it wasn't for Him, I'm telling you, not only would I not be sitting here, but I probably would not be saying anything that you'd be interested in hearing. So I just want to thank God for the opportunity and the favor and the timing to be able to present the material that I have for you. If any of you saw the pre-announcement, you may have seen it, maybe not. It just talks about how I'm going to share with you today the vision that we have for the show. And I say, well, we tuned in for some real estate news. Well, I just want to know, have you digested all the real estate news that we provided so far? Let me know. Anybody got indigestion out there? You guys got it all in? Okay. Might need to go back and sample it again, and we'll get to that. Um, but I thought today would be a good day to do a recap, and talk about what we've talked about so far, and where we're going next. And also, once again, invite you for some audience participation about what you'd like to see, what you're interested in. So let's start with me. Normally, when we have this show, I'm focused on my guests, what they're interested in, what they're offering to you, and that's what we talk about. But I want to talk a little bit about why I do the show. And I've mentioned before how I got into real estate. But when I'm on this show, it's just an amazing thing for me to be here. My mother passed away when I was small, when I was 3. I was raised by my maternal grandmother. I've mentioned her before, Grandma Adams, and she was born in 1898, and she was feisty. She was a great grandmother, and she took great care of me. And I moved here I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I moved here to the Maryland area a little over 20 years ago, because my daughter is 27, so I'd been up here maybe 2 years before she was born. Had a lot of challenges in life. It's interesting to me now that I'm in the business of providing housing for others and helping them find housing, because I've been homeless. I've been homeless a lot in my life, through different types of circumstances. You have that situation that you tell everybody was somebody else, but for real it was you. I've been that homeless. I've been that homeless when you were doing all the things that you weren't supposed to do, and God was just checking to say, okay, if you're homeless, you still gonna follow me. Been that homeless too, and I can remember having been in a single room type situation, in a homeless environment for a couple of years, a little more than a couple of years, and wondering if I'm going to have my own place again, and taking those steps to go back out there. So when I'm on talking to you about getting your own home and taking that step toward home ownership, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to move from where you are, to not consider again all of the mistakes or all of the decisions in your housing journey. Maybe you're selling, you're trying to downsize. Maybe you're, trying to buy your first home, trying to move out of home, trying to leave mom and dad's finally. But I understand how that can be frightening, that it takes you getting your mindset in a certain place because sometimes the only thing that prevents us from moving forward is what we think. Brett Carter made a great point on our last show, so go back and check it out. But he was making a point about how he felt like anyone could have a home. Anybody. That the only thing between you and a home was time and motivation. And understanding where your timing was and being motivated to wherever you were in that cycle. If you were at the point where you just still need to be saving, that you were motivated. If you were at that time where it's time to make that leap of faith and you contacted your lender and you're motivated. But he said when you put those two together, it equals home ownership. Man, that's a nugget. That's a nice thought. And I mean, it encouraged me. And I was like, wow, I like that. So I'm sure I have his permission to use it again. But those kinds of the things that I want to bring to you, each of our guests have come on and brought you different perspectives. Comfort talked about the HUD Home program with Brett. Who knew? I mean, some people may have known about the Good Neighbor Next Door program, but who knew that you could get a house that's already been discounted at even a lesser discount? 50% off. Come on now. That's great news. Reginald Derrickson, Old Line Bank, he was here. He talked about grants, and he talked to you about how he looks at how he can take this grant money and maybe match it with that grant money, and then maybe there's some down payment assistance over here, and stack it all up for you and tie it up in a bow and say, okay, go find your house. you know Ed Jeffries was here, and he and I discussed some of the processes, and try to demystify what the multiple offer is and what kind of market we're in, and why why you want a lender that can talk to your agent and can talk to the listing agent to plead your case and make your offer really strong, and what that process looks like. Ben Clemens, Movement Mortgage. We can close you in 2 weeks. We close you quick. We close you in a week. Ben's like, we're on it. This is our process. This is how we work. And he shared a little bit about his company, with their focus on philanthropy, and how they encourage that, and they also participate in that, internationally and nationally, with the different causes that they encourage their employees to focus on. So again, just quality information that you can use. When you're looking at, Melanie Gamble, premier realtor, but talking about what got her into real estate, her why, and then talking about the things that keep her in real estate. Who didn't resonate with the story about the friends that were facing foreclosure? You know, who doesn't know someone that's been in that boat? So that gives you an idea that the people that you're dealing with in the marketplace, they're not just one dimensional. They have stories, they have reasons why they do what they do, why they're dedicated to what they're doing, why they want to make a difference with you. And all these people want to see you succeed in whatever your real estate dreams are. That's so, the thing was, sharing the vision of Real Estate Talk and providing you with the tools to build your real estate dreams, not someone else's, but yours. And hopefully the shows have prodded and prompted and encouraged and kind of nudged you into wanting to explore what you want, that they've caused you to hope again that you can succeed. Even if you failed before, that you're willing to go back out there and try again. Okay? So that's what we want to continue to do. We had New Homes on with Alex Salome, with Ryan Builders. So just Brian Washington with his Veterans Rehab. And I remember my shows. I remember. Thank you, but I got to put you on silent because I appreciate you. I can't look at it. Y'all know I'm not coordinated. I can't look at the phone and talk to you, but I will be checking them out. But I remember all the guests, that come on. I remember what they say because it meant so much, and they said it with such feeling. Now, when we're looking at who we're going to have on, I've got some ideas for the future. We're looking at having in January. We're going to be doing a show. I've already talked with the presenter for bringing it out. Going to be talking about some multifamily things. Okay. I had the pleasure of speaking with Kanoe Reynolds today with Goldston Real Estate. Wonderful woman. I mean, just a great professional in the business. She encouraged me just in the lane that I'm in. And we talked about her doing an upcoming show. She's an author as well. And, just providing information about our industry and what's going on. And then, believe it or not, if you're on Facebook and you're looking at real estate in Prince George's County, you probably know the name Marcus N. Daniels. I was like, it's Marcus, because he called me back. But I called him to talk to him. He has, if you're on Facebook, look for the Prince George's County Real Estate Development group, or news is what it says. Prince George's County Real Estate Development News. Marcus posts like that's his career. I'm telling you, but it's good stuff. I know if I drive by a place and they just have a sign up like the builder and there's some trucks and some equipment, but I don't really know what it is yet, just keep watching Marcus's posts. You're going to find out what it is. Because he goes and finds out, he shares that information with us. And so I said, and he does commercial real estate. He's with NAI Michael. I told him, you got to come on the show, man. You got to come on because you provide such a service just to the online community. So he promises he's going to come on. He's going to share that information with us about what's going on in gorgeous Prince George's County. But this show is not just about Prince George's County. We're in the DMV. So I'm looking to bring you information about what's going on in D.C., what's happening now. I want you to have information about what's going on in Virginia. Okay, what's going on in the property market there? Because some of us, we may live in Virginia, drive through D.C. to get to Maryland, or we may go around the other way. We're people sometimes that are operating in all three jurisdictions every day. And so knowing what's on the radar, what's coming up in our communities is important. Okay, so I want you to have that information. Now, December is the month of giving. And so I want you to start, you can email me. I'm at Lisa Jeffery, 38. That year is kind of gone now, but 38 was a really good year. But I'm Lisa Jeffery, 38 at gmail.com. Email me if you've got a giveaway for, you're giving away toys, you're giving away Christmas dinner, you're giving away coats, you're collecting food, any of those kinds of things, let me know. Because this month I want to help you get the word out. If it's a charitable outreach that you're doing that can help someone, I want to help you publicize that and get that out this month. Okay? So that's one of the focuses for this month, is to get me the important information about what your philanthropy is. Okay? Now, another thing I want to talk about is engagement. It's a two-way thing we have going on here. We're lateral when the guests come in, but it's also two-way between you and I and the guests on the show. So I want to hear some feedback from you in terms of what you may want to see that you haven't seen yet, what you may want more of. If you post questions to me on the Facebook page, our Facebook page is Real Estate Talk with Lisa, and it's up and running. It's live now. I have some of the videos on there. And so you can reach me that way. If you have questions about a particular episode, you can post it in the comments there. I'll get notified. If there's another question that you like, send me a post. Go to the page, like the page, share the information. Just to give you some statistics, we've been on the air a month, a little over a month. Our first show, we had close to 1,500 people that viewed in the first week. The show that we did right before Thanksgiving, we left it up because we were all eating just like you were. Um, that show had 3,100 people view it. So it lets me know that there's an interest. So the more that you share the information, the more people can benefit from what's being given out. Many people told me, they said, well, Lisa, I don't have Facebook. I don't do social media. I had one, I closed it down. I don't remember my password. So we've created a YouTube channel. It's called Real Estate Talk with Lisa. You can go on. Um, the previous show is there now. It's in two parts. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But that show is there, and going forward, we will be promoting every show. Okay, every show we'll be able to upload that on YouTube. So if you want to share it with someone and they're not on Facebook, maybe you are, but they're not, we're giving you another way to share the information. Now, I know some of you may not have seen the full show from last week. You hear me referring to it and saying, well, I didn't see it. Okay. We have the beautiful upgrades, but sometimes when you have upgrades, if you have a computer, you get that upgrade. Now you click, it don't click, or you click and it clicked something else. You wasn't really expecting that. So you have that, when even here in the studio when we make upgrades. So, but we wanted you to have the information so much. We split the session. Mr. Jeffrey's portion was very good, but part of the audio wasn't clear enough for you to hear him. So we actually retaped. We had him come back in and we retaped. So that's why we have two segments. You'll see one segment on the main WBGR Wellness Network page. But then if you go to the show's Facebook page, Real Estate Talk with Lisa, you'll see both segments. So that way you can see both shows. So by next week, when we have our guests in again, you'll be all caught up on the information that we put out so far. I'm also with him, with his segment, I did put his contact information because it was omitted from that segment because in the full show, we had given it at the end. So I wanted to make sure that that was out there. If you have trouble reaching anyone or you need us to post something about contact information, let us know. Now, back to the thoughts of uh, real estate and where I see it for our community. Um, Melanie, when she was on, she talked about having property and then losing it through the fact that just a small thing, it would seem, the taxes not being paid, that property being sold for such a low value. For me, my situation was, I mentioned my grandmother. She raised me. Um, I knew I was the only grandchild, so I know I was gonna inherit that house, and I was gonna be, this is gonna be my home forever. Well, grandma passed away, and she had no life insurance. And because she had no life insurance, there was nothing to take care of the creditors. So what ended up happening is we lost the house, had to sell it in order to satisfy the debt. And that's going to be a topic of conversation going into the new year as well, in terms of once you're in your home, being properly protected so that should anything happen to you, your family can still have that home and know that it's taken care of financially. Okay. So understanding, that loss of property, I can relate to her story. And so knowing that having property in your community, it makes you care a little more. It creates that sense of community. It creates that sense of pride that you have that, this is my street, not because I hang out here just chilling, but this is my street because my house is on this street. My yard is on this street. I compete with my neighbor about who has the best yard. This is where I live. This is where my family lives. And it gives you that sense of community. It also is the first building block to starting your wealth for your family. Having that in place. So that's why I want you to watch the show. I want to always provide things that help you to build wealth. We're going through a situation now where they're changing how we look at our taxes. How's that going to affect you as a seller, as a property owner already? How's that going to change how you look at purchasing your property? You know, what you're going to be able to deduct, how your financial picture is going to change. So I intend to have an accountant come in and talk to us about the changes and what kind of impact they're making on us, because it's important. You need to know these things. So these are all the types of things that I feel like are important for you to know. Another area that I'm so excited to see lenders focusing on is, you have someone that's, they lost their home. There was a short sale, there was a foreclosure, you know, whatever the situation was, and they could not hang on to their property. They had a bankruptcy. Because we all go through life. But to know that there are lending products out there that can help you get back up and running sooner than you thought you would. Isn't that worth talking about? Isn't that worth sharing? So when you look at the show, just think about who can use this, who needs it. Um, Let me know what you want to do. Let me know what you want to talk about, because what's important to you, it's important to us. Now we got new communities coming in. I was just looking at the new home guide, and there's so many just in Maryland. Just, you know, when you look at the map, there's little dots everywhere, little enclaves springing up. So I want to start bringing builders, more builders in. Dan Ryan was our first, and I intend to have them back again to talk to us about the amenities, because a lot of communities now are not just coming as just, you know, standalone. You know, you just buy your house and, you know, hey Bill, how you doing? You got your two neighbors on each side and, you know, one dog, and that's it. You know, I mean, now the communities come, you know, you have walking trails and, you know, nice community centers and event spots, and, you know, you may have like Dunkin' Donuts, you know, and a cleaners, you know, right there in your little community. So I think that's another area that I'd like to expand into. So I talked a little bit about where I come from and some of the experiences that I had. When you're looking at me, you're not looking at someone that's always polished, always did it right, always um, knew what to do. Um, but the thing is, being willing to be a lifetime learner, being willing to, if you see an opportunity, take it. Same for you. This is one avenue, but we're not the only outlet for information out there. When you hear something, go and investigate. You know, don't take somebody else's word for what you can have. I remember recently pulling up to a place where my family was going out to eat, and we pulled in, and as we pulled in and we parked, and it's another lady, they were coming to go into their car. So, you know, we spoke, said, oh, you're going in there to eat? They don't have anything. They just have some chicken and maybe two sides. It's like, really? We decided we are going to go check for ourselves. You know, they had everything. They had everything they normally have on the menu. And we just couldn't figure out, well, why would you tell us that? You know, why would you discourage us from going in by telling us that there was nothing there? You, in your search for building your real estate dreams, you're going to run into people that are going to give you misinformation for no apparent reason. Okay? They're going to tell you things, you're going to be like, really? It's not going to be true. Here we want to be able to give you the truth as we get it, and to have as many people to give you that truth. Okay? Not fake news, but true information that you can use. But I encourage you as well to seek that information. You know, if you hear something going on in your community, something building, we're going to try to have news on it. But if we don't know, send us a question, And you also be proactive. Let us know what you found out. Okay. Let me see. What else did I want to touch on for you today? I wanted to talk a little bit. My daughter says, "Mom, you never tell them what you do." So I am a buyer and a listing agent with Fairfax Realty. As I came into the real estate business, I think I mentioned on another show, I started as a transaction coordinator. And, so I handled a lot of paperwork. And I did a lot of, talking, to the buyers, answering the phone and things like that. And then I got my license. So I was able to interact with them on a higher level with regards to the transactions. And I really developed a connection with just dealing with the people. Like I said in my first show, I believe we get into real estate for different reasons. So for me, if I'm working with you as a client, it's really important for me to catch your vision because I'm not out with you to promote my vision, but to help you achieve your vision, help you achieve your dream. I'm really client focused. Some of my clients wonder if I actually sleep, and lately I haven't been sleeping because I've been busy. But I do sleep, but I try to be really responsive. I take it very personally the responsibility that I have as a realtor to work with you. I've had families that I've worked with, and I've worked with the parents, worked with the children, and it's comforting to know that they feel that they can trust me to work with them. It's nothing like for me sitting across the table because if you've been to the settlement, your realtor at this point is just basking in the fact that man, we got there. I got them there. Yes, yes, we are going to get paid. This is true. Because I know some of you are looking at me saying, but aren't you going to get paid? Well, yes, yes, we are. But the other thing about it is, for me, seeing the single mother that's been saving, getting her keys, the young couple, the young man who's single, but he's going ahead and establishing his family, in the beginning, like he's establishing his household. Um, to see a large family that's been dealing with this 3-bedroom apartment for just 2 years too long. Finally found a house where everything has a place and everybody has a place to see a multi-generational home group of buyers, have that home where here's that main floor living for granddad and the basement for the young people to hang out and mom and dad they have their spot upstairs. They got their own bathroom in their room. They don't have to share with the kids anymore. That's an awesome feeling, and it's a big responsibility, but I take it seriously. And so along with the guests that I have here, I'm available to answer your questions about real estate. Obviously, if there's anything I don't know, I know how to go find them and get the information that you're looking for. I can be reached at Lisa Jeffery 38 at gmail.com. I can be reached at my office at Fairfax Realty at 301 794 9400. I can also be reached on my cell 301 542 5168. And I'm also on the web at Lisa J, the number 4, realestate.com. So I look forward to encountering you in some of those places. Um, we're going to be doing, I think, a promo at the beginning of the year for new schools that are coming online that are offering pre-licensing. I know I encounter people from time to time that are doing that. Also, for those of you that are looking at investing, um, some people have been looking at tax liens as an investment. We're looking at whether or not to do a show there. There are some investment clubs in the area that we're looking to maybe feature on the show to talk to you about that. Investing as an individual. A lot of you go to, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad seminars.
Does that really work? If you've got a success story about how you were able to implement those strategies, I'd love to hear from you. Because a lot of times, we all see the commercials, and they're online now. When you're on, you're looking, you see it come up, and you see the pans across the crowds, and you have like two people. Oh, I really love the Rich Dad seminar, or the invest in, because I'm not impugning anything. I guess I'm just saying, we're familiar with the name, but you're saying, I went and it really helped me buy. So if you're local and you've actually had great experience there, let us know, because people want to know. People are looking for different ways to increase their wealth. And then there are lots of subsidiary things that you don't think about. If you're a seller, how are you going to sell your house quickly? You may find that your agent may work with someone that does staging. Why? Because it may make your home more appealing. I had one client inquire about solar panels, because we all have solar panels. Will solar panels increase the value of your home? Now, my preliminary research says yes, based on the appraisals. There was an appraisal report from the appraisal organization. I'll get you the name, I'll post it. If I can link the article, I will. But what they did find in studies that it did increase the value from the appraisal standpoint. The thing is, does the appraisal increase equal out to the investment that you're putting in it? And I think you have to look at, whether or not um, what it is you want from the home. Are you going to stay in the home for a while, so it's going to be a permanent thing? Is it something that's a investment you're going to make, and then you want to resell the home where you get your value out of it? So that's a subject that we're going to explore more deeply. But that was a question that was put to me by a former client that just had some curiosity about those issues. So again, the show is for you. The show is to give you information to be helpful. The Christmas season, I want to hear from you. I want to know who's doing charitable work, so I can promote that for you. So we can get our audience involved and spreading the word. Because if somebody's doing something good, we want people to know. Um, we have a Power Pack calendar coming up for you for the rest of this month and going into next year, for investing, because we haven't done a lot of shows on investing yet because we're just starting. We are going to have a focus on that, a spotlight on that, and tell me what aspects of that you're interested in. We will be looking at all of the side pieces that go along with home ownership. So, home inspectors, contractors, even maybe talking to an appraiser from the standpoint of what he's looking for. What does he do? Who is that mysterious appraiser? Waiting on the appraisal to come in. What's he actually looking at? What's he doing? How does his job work? So, as I said, I want to thank you again for being such a great audience, for your support. I want to thank you for the responses that you've given with respect to the guests that we've had so far. Who knows? You could be my next guest. So stay in touch with us. Continue to watch the show, share the show, and thank you again for your great support. And remember that next week